ReviveFM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of ReviveFM or its management.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the ReviveFM 94.0 Iftar show. MashaAllah, it's an Easter Monday. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone is full of energy. It is the 19th of Ramadan. Can you believe it? The 19th of Ramadan is here already. We were all making these plans, wonderful plans. Everyone was saying to themselves, yes, we're going to get together. We're going to have all these iftar parties. Oh, next week we'll meet up. Oh no, we'll meet up the following week. Before you know it, it is the 19th of Ramadan today and we're entering the last 10 days. So you can imagine what is happening right now. So all our message to everyone right now, take advantage of these last 10 days. This is a blessed time. This is an important time. And we're asking everyone, please make sure you take advantage of these amazing days ahead of us. Because before you know it, now the Eid prep is going to start. What are we cooking? What are we wearing? All this is going to start. And I'm asking everyone right now to take advantage of those last 10 days because before you know it, they're gone as well. So as usual, you are tuned into the ReviveFM 94.0 Iftar show. I'm Muz Rafiq and we're going to be joined with a guest shortly. But before we do so, just to remind everyone that you can interact with us on YouTube and on Facebook Live. You can go on there, put your messages, put your comments, and we will read them out as well, inshallah. As usual, you can give us a call on 0333 444 0940 as well. So make sure you get involved because it's a good opportunity for you to sort of interact with us, get your messages read out, and we will also, have a word with you and, read your messages out and make sure everything's going well. But once again, please do take advantage of Ramadan, eat clean, do well as well. But yes, let's go on. As we've got an action-packed show ahead of us, we've got obviously a lovely and amazing sister who I'm going to meet for the first time. I know her father very well, but we're going to actually add her in hopefully now, and hopefully she's live at the background. But yep, there we go. So let's start off by saying, first of all, to Sister Aaliyah. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aaliyah. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
You can hear us fine and everything?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Can you hear me?
Perfect. No, absolutely. Thank God our studio and everything's on point and we haven't got any issues there. But yeah, all good. So just to give everyone an introduction, obviously people that saw on my socials today, we were advertising this show today that we're going to have the up and coming author. So not just a normal sister here. She's actually written, mashallah, a quite big book here, mashallah. So we've got Sister Aaliyah. So Sister Aaliyah, first of all, just so the listeners can get used to yourself as well, give us a bit of introduction about yourself. What is it that you're studying? What family background, interests, and so on, so that people can get a feel of who Sister Aaliyah is.
Yeah, of course. I'm Aaliyah Hussain. I'm 20 years old, and I'm an apprentice in the financial services industry. So very, very different. But I do
okay. Like an accounting, you're accounting then, yeah?
Not accounting. I'm in risk. But like you, I'm also a creative. So writing is my hobby. It started off as a hobby. It's become something more than that. But yeah, I live with my dad and my stepmom in Northampton. I've got two incredible cats. Oh, and I've got a lovely sister. She wanted a shout out, so I'm giving it to her. And
don't give a shout out to your cats, please.
Cats come first. Cats always come first. They actually spent most. I spent a lot of time with my cats while writing. They sit on my lap and they're always there. So
they get your creative juices flowing, yeah?
Is that what you're saying? Absolutely. When they're on my lap, I can't really get up, so I'm forced to sit there and write.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, go on. Yep, you were saying?
That's all I can really say.
Brilliant. Now, Aaliyah, let's talk about this book, obviously now.
Yeah,
this is just to let the listeners know. I'm sure they've seen as well, but it's a story that is called "It Begins at the End." Looking back is not an option. Sounds like quite a deep sort of book that you've come up with here, mashallah. So now, before we go into it, the question to ask here is how. First of all, yourself, how did this journey become that it's something that you want to do, where you want to sort of write a book. Where was this journey? Obviously, you said that it's a hobby that you like to write and so on. But where was it where it sort of clicked that, okay, I sort of want to put a book together? I mean, you're young, such a young age, mashallah, and yet you've decided that you want to put a book together, or you've made a book together. Tell us that journey of becoming an author as such.
Yeah, of course. So I never really decided that I wanted to become an author. I have always loved writing. I wrote lots of short stories when I was younger. I sort of fell out of love with it when I was in school, because a lot of my focus was on writing essays and rather than fiction. But I was 18. I went for a walk with my mum. I was dealing with some drama at school, petty school drama. And my mum ended up telling me the story of one of her close friends who was, who just one day did not show up to school. And it turned out that she had actually been shipped off to Pakistan and forced into marriage. She was actually, she had a boyfriend who her parents weren't supposed to know about. Inevitably, they found out about it, and that's what caused her to be shipped off. And that sort of put me in my place, because her friend was the exact same age as me, and I just wanted to know more. I asked my mom to tell me more, and she told me as much as she could from her perspective. But the story was not hers to tell, and there was a lot more that I wanted to find out. So with her friend's permission, I asked if I could hear the story, and at the end of it, I just said, this is amazing. This needs to be a book.
Wow. So it was actually for your mother's friend experience. So the book is based on your mother's friend's experience.
It's inspired by a true story.
Wow. And obviously, it does seem, I mean, for you to, obviously that story, when you was sort of doing the research and hearing that story, that must have been quite intense. It must have been, the whole storytelling and the emotion aspect of the sister that obviously went through it, telling you that story. It must have been quite intense.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, we sat down and she told me a story, but it wasn't just in one sitting. There were a few sittings. Because it's quite a long story. It spans a couple of decades, but it really shifted my whole perspective as well, because I feel like I was a lot more closed-minded before I heard the story. And to think that someone the same age as you can be going through a whole completely different experience, it's amazing.
And obviously the experiences you're talking about, where you could say it's a forced marriage as such, that's happened. When you were obviously naturally going through the situation of, sitting down with the sister to understand her story and so on, and understand what actually has happened, did you sort of look into, is this sort of a common thing that's happening? Was you also liaising with some charities? Did you explore more that how common is this practice where people are getting shifted off or sisters are getting shifted off and to Pakistan to get married? Is this something that you explored more, that in the wider sort of horizon, that this is actually happening as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had to do my research. There were times where I thought, I don't even know if this is the story that I should be telling, because it's something that you really have to pull from pain and trauma to be able to tell it authentically. So I really wanted to do it justice, and I did a lot of research. I read countless articles online, and it is very common. That's a sad thing. Now it's becoming less common, but it still happens. And this, we have to remember that this story is not set now. It's set about 20 years ago. So it was a lot more common then than it is now. But I'm really happy that it's getting better and it's happening less often, but it is still happening, and that's a sad truth.
It is. I remember you're right. When you recollect, obviously I'm being a lot older than you, so I can recollect in that time and say that, during that time, you used to hear these stories. You're right. That people all of a sudden are just gone, and they're gone on holidays, and all of a sudden they're told that they're going on holidays, and they're going to Pakistan for holiday, and all of a sudden they're getting duped into a marriage. And this was it was a common thing back in the day, and it was thankfully things are changing, but unfortunately, as you said, it is still a practice that is happening, and we do hope that people are speaking out a bit more, educating it a bit more. And I suppose through your book, it's although it's put in such a way, but the events are explained in such detail where hopefully it will create a platform for people to actually come out and be aware of this, that it's actually happening, and it gets called out, because that's I suppose that's what another objective of your book is, to sort of educate people of what's actually happening out there.
Yeah, of course. And I think the important thing is that there should be no shame in speaking about it. I know back then it was it was a bit more taboo to speak out about going through something like this, but I really hope, I know that's changing, and I really hope people are able to come forward and speak about their experiences without feeling shame.
Yeah. And obviously, when you saying that with your mom, you was understanding this story, and then it sort of triggered to you that, yeah, I've got to put this down somehow. Was it always, because some people could say, okay, you know what, let me make a blog, let me write an article, let me try to, approach these charities and make them aware of this, or push these guys. What was it that said to yourself that, okay, you know what, I want to make a book out of this? What was it that sort of trigger that, I would actually want to put all this down and create something? I've looked at it and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not a very good reader, but I'm like, you know what, is there going to be a movie coming out? Aaliyah be approached and, there could be a movie coming out for this. But yeah, maybe that's a shout out for you. But yeah, what was it that triggered you to say, a book is something that I really want to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it's, in my head, when someone tells me a story, especially if I don't know who those people are, they instantly become characters in my head. And I only knew one character in the story my mom was telling me, and that was her friend. But I didn't know who her husband was. I didn't know any of her relatives. So the way she described them, I instantly pictured them in my head as these characters. And I guess because I've always been a lover of fiction, my first thought was, okay, I need to know more to this story. I need to learn more about these characters. And also because it spans decades, a blog would have been, I feel like it wouldn't have made it as unique of a story. It could have just summarized the forced marriages, like the topic of forced marriages. But every story is, every woman who has been through a forced marriage has a story of their own. And I didn't really want to summarize it into a blog. The first thing I thought of was this, this is going to be a lot of chapters and a lot of pages. It's the only thing
it's like really justice. You wanted to give it justice, right? You obviously, it's a story that you've been entrusted with. You've then obviously sat with, the sister as well and gone through it and thought, okay, you know what? The only way I'm going to do justice with this is to actually put it all down in detail, right? So I guess it's you wanting to give that weight and trust that you've been given with that story to actually get it out there in full, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, brilliant. Okay, now in terms of just to listeners out there, when the book is being written, now obviously we understand your reason behind it, but when you're putting a book together, i.e., you're trying to find a publisher, you're trying to edit it. What is the process? Obviously, putting the whole story down is the first aspect. Take us through of how, once a person writes everything down, what's the next phase? Or do you get approached? Because obviously some people get approached by publishers first, and they are given targets to write stories. But now you've obviously put the book together. Let's say you've written it all out. What was the next phase of getting it published?
Yeah, sure. I wrote the whole first draft. I don't really plan when I write, but because the story already had an existing plot, I knew where it was going, and most of the work was to do with the characters. I had to shape these characters. I had to own them in a way, and make each one authentic in itself. And I also had like a whole spreadsheet of the real people and what their character names were, just so I wouldn't lose track. And once I got the words down to paper, I started, first there was that moment of shock, like, oh my God, I've written this, now what? Like, I actually have to do something with it. So I started doing my research because I had no idea what to do next. I didn't understand the process at all. But the next stage was editing, and I had to find an editor, and that was when I got my first taste of rejection. Yeah, because you have to, an editor has to want to work with you as well, and they have to be interested in your story. So maybe I reached out to the wrong people, maybe they just, it wasn't for them. But eventually, long story short, I did find an editor. She's the most loveliest person. She really helps me. She helped me shape this book. There was so much that I learned from her. Just
from
about
the editor, right?
From the editor, yeah. So much that I learned from her. I mean, I thought I'd written something amazing, and then she basically sent me 10 pages of feedback, and I thought, okay, wow, this really does need a lot of work.
Yeah. It kind of gave you that focus, I guess, to put it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as you took it as that constructive feedback, isn't it? But some people, sometimes it's a bit of a shock that I've put this sort of masterpiece together in your eyes, and then all of a sudden, you're getting someone just discrediting it. But I guess it was constructive. It was constructive.
It was, absolutely, it was constructive. And she sort of she posed questions that I to this day ask myself whenever I write something, like, why is this character doing this? How does this make sense? It doesn't make sense that they're doing this at point A but this at point B. And it really helps you understand a lot about people as well, because especially because these characters are based on real people. So I had to make sense of what they were doing. But eventually after rounds of editing, she'd send me feedback, I'd make changes, send it back, she'd send me more feedback. And then once that was over, I had to then get a proofreader, go through, make sure all the I's were dotted and T's crosses, and make sure there were no repeat words. And I'm pretty sure, it's like 400 plus pages. There's bound to be a mistake in there somewhere. But I think that was probably the most stressful part, just making sure everything was, all the sentences made sense. And
that was down to you. That was down to you as well.
No. I got a proofreader, but then I still read it. Yeah, I still read it myself because I don't trust anybody else. I had to. Yeah, I read it myself again. I think I read it way too many times. I've probably read my own book like 10, 15 times in total.
Stories programmed into you now, yeah. So yeah.
It got to a point. It got to a point where I started making edits in my head, and I was like, no, I want to change a sentence again. And I guess I just learned that, it's never going to be perfect and it's never going to be finished, but you have to come to a point where you're like, okay, this book needs to fly. I need to let it go.
Yeah, true. And then, so after the proofreading, what was the next phase?
After the proofreading, I had to decide whether I wanted to get an agent to help me publish it, or whether I wanted to publish it myself. And at first I did try to get an agent. I wrote a query letter, many of them, and that was an experience in itself, because you have to then summarize a 400-page book into one page, and that was the hardest thing I've ever done. But yeah, in the end, I decided to self-publish it myself on Amazon for a multitude of reasons. One of them being it's a very personal story, and I just wanted to keep it as close to me as possible, and as close to who it's about as well. So yeah, now it's out there. It's out there on Amazon to purchase.
Amazing. And congratulations to you for at such a young age, mashallah. Credit to you to put a book together, to then deal with the, obviously for your life skills as such, to be dealing with the proofreaders, the editors, publishers, and then finally to get it out there. I can see on our sort of chat, we've got, buzzing, saying he's proud of you, Aaliyah.
Thank you.
Commenting and, dropping thumbs up to you as well. So it's definitely kudos to you, mashallah, that you've put it together. And I'm sure you've learnt a lot as well on the road of putting a book together, I guess. So it brings me to question that, is there more books in the pipeline as your creative flows are flowing and your cats are on your lap? What's the next phase for you right now?
Yeah, I'd love to write more books. I'm always writing. I do have a few things in mind. I'm constantly jotting down ideas. I don't have any fixed projects that I'm working on right now, but there is definitely more in the future, 100%.
When you're sort of writing stuff, or is there a desire to do, let's say, a different type of story, or would it be something so similar where you are bringing someone's true story to the fold? Is there a certain a want where you would say, okay, if I would like to do something like this? Is there something that goes through your mind in terms of that?
Yeah, no, I have thought about writing other people's stories, obviously with their permission. A couple of people have said, like, listen, I've got this story as well, I'd love for it to be put out there in the world. But I think right now I want to sort of take complete ownership of my stories and write something a bit more fun, a bit more lighthearted. I really want to write like a book that's set in some location that I've never been to before. So I'm going to travel to that location just so I can write about it. I think I want to keep it as fun as possible, and it has been so much fun. And I think keeping it interesting, coming up with like ways that I can, having a location book, or maybe basing it on some sort of funny character. I just want to keep it as fun as possible.
So yeah, from the seriousness of the book,
it was
take it down a notch. That's the plan, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I learned so much from it, but I think to write 2 heavy books in right after consecutively would be a bit much. But there's definitely more in the future.
Inshallah. Now with obviously the character, obviously you don't want to say characters, but the people that you're talking about in the book, the children of the sister that's going through this journey of being married and then having the children and then going through a tough marriage. The children, did you manage to have any interactions with the children? Were they very young, or are they very young right now? What are the sort of age ranges of those children?
Yeah, no, I know all of their children. I've met them many times. One of them is a few years older than me. The other one, actually, no, 2 of them are older than me, and then one of them is younger than me. I think 16 or so. So they're all quite mature.
Fine.
Yeah.
This story happened. It's about 20 years ago, isn't it? Where this happened. So yeah, I guess that would make sense. But your interactions with them have been pretty good. They were quite supportive with the book as well and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, she had to obviously speak to her children because they are old enough to make their own decisions. But I'm really lucky that they're all okay with this, and they're very happy with it.
Awesome. No, that sounds good. Okay, now if I was to say to you, what obviously being in the writing sort of game or such, what we want to call it, what kind of authors sort of appeal to you? Is there a particular authors that you sort of inspired to, or is it your own style, or how is it, when you're reading, what kind of authors get you, shall we say?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question.
I'll put you on the spot, right?
Yeah, you put me on the spot. One of my favorite authors, I'd say, is Taylor Jenkins Reid.
I don't know who that is. Yeah.
she's her books are the type that I can read over and over again. Okay. I'll give it like a year's rest in between, just so I can give myself time to forget. I'm actually reading. I'm saying her right now because I've just eyed the book on the bed, and I'm reading her book right now, Malibu Rising, for the second time. I think because her books are just pure escapism, and they're all set in. They're all historical fiction. A lot of them are historical fiction. And I guess that's a genre I really like because they're all stories set in a time where I wasn't born yet. So I guess they're the most interesting to me because I have no idea what was going on in the 70s or the 60s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love.
Nor did I. You're looking at me like
I didn't think so, Muz. I didn't think so. But yeah, I love women's fiction. I love a little bit of. I like elements of romance. I'm not really into pure romance, but I'm trying to read a bit more romance. But yeah, those are the genres.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, Sister Aaliyah, once again, an absolute pleasure to have you finally, after all these years of knowing your father, to have a final virtual sit down with yourself. So it was a true pleasure. But what I would say is, as it's Ramadan, it's the last 10 days. Any final sort of message for you before you go? I think there was another message from Sayyidina Mir, you're an inspiration to young people, mashallah. So, really, really nice messages coming through. So, yeah, a final message from yourself. And, it's the listeners are listening in. So just a final closing message from you as well.
Yeah, sure. Like you said, it's the last 10 days of Ramadan. I'd say take it easy, be with your loved ones, be with your family. And if you have the time, if you like reading, or if you don't like reading, you read my book, please. But yeah, thank you.
Hope that becomes a movie one day, because people likes of me, the people that struggle with reading books, we're waiting for this movie to come out. So yes, it's gonna be an amazing. It is actually a good read. I have actually started reading it, and it does seem like just by the title that it's going to be quite a deep read. So yeah, it is a good story, and I would encourage everyone to get in contact with Aaliyah on her. What's the socials? Give us the socials.
Ooh, socials. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at wordsby.aaliyah. I think it's words.by.aaliyah. I don't even know my own socials. But yeah, it's.
Do I have to read it out for you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the back of the book.
I did read your book. Don't worry. Here it is. Words.by.aaliyah.
Words.by.aaliyah. I wanted it to be Words by Aaliyah, but that was taken. But my TikTok is Words by Aaliyah, and my Twitter is Aaliyah with 2 H's at the end, writes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Give her your message of support. Make sure you read that book. If you want to know how to get hold of the book, obviously she said Amazon, so please go on Amazon and get that book as well. So inshallah, once again, Aaliyah, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys soon as well. Give my salams and wishes to all your family, and we hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Guys, that was mashallah Sister Aaliyah, who was an inspiration, an author, an up and coming. I didn't know she was this young, 20 years old. Yar, makes you think what we did with our lives, isn't it? Going through accountancy and stuff, with girls written out of a whole book and stuff. And I see Janab, mashallah. Chalo, alhamdulillah. Good on her, and good on her parents as well. Mashallah, proud moment for them to have a daughter who has come out and released a book. And inshallah, it's doing well as well. But guys, we are going to take a short break. After the break, I have a surprise for you guys of what's going down up until Iftar. So whoever's tuned in right now, this is going to be an entertaining Iftar going forward. We have a special person who's going to be joining us in the house. So stay tuned. This is Muz Rafiq. This is ReviveFM 94.0's Iftar show. We'll be back after this short break. Assalamu alaikum.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah, and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
A Sadaqah Jariyah unlike any other. This year, Allah has blessed us with the incredible opportunity of illuminating the interior of the Dome of the Rock Masjid, the exact place where the Prophet ﷺ was ascended into the heavens. This new lighting system will illuminate the central areas inside the Dome of the Rock. Gain the reward of praying in Masjid Al-Aqsa and give today. Visit muslimhands.org.uk.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
हम सब जिंदगी गुजारने के अखराजात को पूरा करने के लिए हुकूमती मदद के हकदार हैं। तमाम मदद आपको वेबसाइट हेल्प फॉर हाउस होल्ड से मिल जाएगी। 40 से ज्यादा मदद की स्कीम्स हैं, जैसे एनर्जी बिल्स में मदद, टैक्स फ्री चाइल्ड केयर, ट्रांसपोर्ट के अखराजात, सस्ता इंटरनेट ब्रॉडबैंड, मोबाइल फोन के बिल और बहुत कुछ। अक्टूबर से मार्च तक यूके गवर्नमेंट हर घर के बिल में मजीद 400 पाउंड्स की मदद दे रही है। ज्यादातर घरों को ये पेमेंट ऑटोमेटिक होगी। अगर आप प्री पेमेंट मीटर पर हैं तो आपको वोचर मिलेंगे। gov.uk/help for households पर जाएं और देखें कि आप किस चीज के लिए हकदार हैं। ये आज ही सर्च करें Help for Households।
Catastrophic floods in Pakistan have affected the lives of over 33 million people. The death toll is rising, and the government has declared a national emergency. Our teams are reaching the areas worst hit with emergency food and humanitarian assistance. As the situation worsens, the people of Pakistan desperately need your support. Donate today by visiting muslimhands.org.uk.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_london@minhajuk.org.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the Revive FM 94.0 Iftar show. Mashallah, hope everyone's well. Obviously, we had a nice segment there from hearing from our young sister Aaliyah, written her book, going out there, publishing the book, mashallah, doing great effort with her, what she's been doing. But just to let everyone know, there's also more Iftar shows throughout the week. We have Tuesday, we have Sister Arusa. Wednesday, we have, I've gone blank. You know, the Rosa's got me. Wednesday, we have an Iftar show. Thursday, we have the Women League. And Friday, Wednesday is me again with the MWF's podcast. And Friday is MMG. So it should be good, inshallah. So now, without any further delay, as I said, that the person that we have joining us right now by a special request, we have Brother Zan Jerry, mashallah, who's joining in live to our show when he obviously comes on. Bro. Is he there? Is he there? MashaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Janab, how you doing?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Can you believe that we're doing a show today? Yeah.
I feel a bit upset that you've invited. Listen. I feel really upset that you have invited me after such a long time.
Yeah, you know what it is? I was feeling spiritual today, yeah, and I thought to myself, I need to do something in my show or something. So I was going through my phone book and I'm thinking, why am I looking at different numbers when I've got these Zan Jerry on speed dial? Let me ask Zan Jerry, let's create something today, man. Let's create something, and although it would have been amazing to be here together, but we've had those moments, and
we've had amazing moments.
We're going to try virtual moment, and see if we can do that anyway. But Zan, tell me, how are you? First of all, how's Ramadan going? All good?
Alhamdulillah, I just wanted to add something. We just had Sister Aaliyah on before, right? And I just realized that Muz doesn't really like reading books. I absolutely love reading books, right? You know, she mentioned about her authors and stuff like that. My favorite book, by the way, Aaliyah Hussein's The Kite Runner and 1,000 Splendid Suns. That's one that I can read again and again. And Muz, listen, do you know what? Like you were saying, you'd rather watch the film. Harry Potter, yeah, the film's absolutely rubbish compared to the book, mate. You need to read the book. You don't know what you're missing out on.
I've never watched a guy, a wizard on a broomstick, yard. Forget that, bro. We're all good, man. We're all good, bro. But yeah, no. You know, it's bro. For me, reading, it's always. I don't know what it is, bro. I think it's just. I've never really looked into it much, but
you know you're either a maths person or an English person. You're the maths person, mate. I'm the English person.
I'll do the figures, bro. Absolutely, leave it at that. But it was one of our teachers. What we went to Palestine with Sheikh Yani, who's talking about his dyslexia, and obviously for him, like what he usually does is imagine that's in a sort of Islamic context book, and he's literally has to go like a page at a time, sort of program it in his mind, and then move on. And it kind of clicked with me that whenever I've read books and especially textbooks, in school, college, and university, I had to make my own notes from the textbook to get it, because I used to hardly read the textbooks, and I would have to process it and understand it. And the same when you're reading a book, you hear people when they read a book, they go into, they feel like they're in that story, and they've
100%.
gone through that journey, and it's amazing. For me, I read one page and I'm like, oh yeah, what did I read? I have to go back and try to read it again. So I think it's just one of those things, bro. It's just, like you said, it either clicks or it doesn't, bro.
Right.
So,
But I do want to add something onto this, right? Obviously, you've been mentioned, I was watching your show for about 10 minutes now, right? And, we were talking about making the most out of the holy month of Ramadan, yeah? And, talking about reading as well. I came to the Idara on this Friday, and, Sheikh Zishan was there as well after the halaqah.
Yeah.
And he mentioned something really interesting. He said that, we need to make the most out of the holy month of Ramadan, and we also need to read the Quran more and more. Okay. And for those people that are watching in tonight, I would always highly recommend reading Qibla Azur's version of the English translation as well. I read it last year and I'm reading it again this year as well. And I'm on that part now where I think it's Surah, I'm on the 10th Separa, and, they're talking about Hazrat Musa alayhi salam. And, the time, the things that happened at the time was Musa alayhi salam. Coincidentally, yesterday was Easter, and, flicking through the channels, and the 10 Commandments was on TV. The old school film.
Oh, that is some old school film, isn't it?
Very old school film. Yes, that's the one, the old school film. But just realizing and trying, I was listening. It came into my mind that a lot of it's very similar to what happened in the Quran as well. There's a calf that's made, and they start worshipping the calf and things like that as well. So everyone that is watching in tonight, we are, again, as Muz mentioned, we're in the final 10 days of the holy month of Ramadan. Try reading the Quran in English translation as well. It's absolutely amazing. It really opens up your mind. It opens up your heart as well. And I can guarantee you, whenever you've got something that's playing on your mind, whether it's whatever it is, just open the Quran. The Quran talks to you. It always, the kind of answer that you need. Sometimes it may be a bit of reassurance. Sometimes it may be an answer to a question. Sometimes, something that you're thinking, and it automatically is just there as well. Have faith, have tawakkul, and just open the Quran, especially in the final 10 days of the holy month of Ramadan.
Definitely. I couldn't give a more simple advice, but such important advice, and such, the rewards of doing such a thing, mashallah, subhanallah, the blessings are only going to be great. But obviously, to let everyone know, we me and Zen, I spoke to him earlier and said, look, we've got to do something. I don't know. It's a day off, and what tends to happen is when me and Zen are together, not unfortunately or fortunately, it usually means that there's an appeal. But today, there's no appeal today. Zain and Muz are here simply just to chill and have a virtual, you could say spiritual evening with you guys. And, we've only got literally probably 15-20 minutes left before Iftar.
I was going to ask what time to start in London.
Start is 7:48. 7:48. So obviously we need to work around that. But yeah, inshallah, we'll get there. So what the main reason of getting Brother Zain on board today was, I thought, let's create we'll get some nasheeds in, we'll get some discussions in, and we'll hopefully that will take us on to Iftar. Everyone right now, it's a day off right now. People are sitting together, they are sort of chilling out, they are getting ready for the Iftar. I'm sure the kitchen is sizzling right now. The aroma smells of the brilliant food of those samosa pakode are coming through now. But while that is coming up, people are sort of listening and tuning in as well. We thought, let's create in our own way, that the best we can, we'll create something for you guys, and hopefully, take something from this blessed Monday as well, of course. So, Brother Zain, I'm not going to say to you, oh, Janab, air request. The mic is yours, bro. Whatever you feel like doing, bro, you fire away, my bro.
I just want to say something, Muz. Obviously, it's a bit of a discussion. It's a bit of a relaxed kind of Ruhani method that we're having. And, I want your opinion on this as well. For a lot of people, the holy month of Ramadan may just be the refrain from eating, but it's not that. It's a detox of the mind. It's a detox of the spirit. It's a detox of the soul as well. You know, it's very easy. And, you know, myself included, right? You know, sometimes when you pray namaz, for example, especially Dravi, not going to lie to you, right? Your mind just tries, you know, it goes everywhere, but it's very hard to, you know, concentrate on one thing. You know, I came to Idara on Friday and Allama Sahib said something very interesting at the beginning of Jummah. And he said, you know, whilst you're praying namaz, just imagine the Kaaba in front of you. And absolutely, you know, it was such a beautiful, beautiful vision as well. So, you know, everyone that is watching, you know, tuned in tonight as well, the message that I want to say is that connect yourself to the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. And how can you do that, Muz? You know, when you love somebody, Muz, right, you're always talking about them, aren't you? You know, you love a footballer. I know you, Muz, right? Muz a hardcore cricket fan as well. And you know, any of his favourite cricketers, he's always going on about them, even on the weekend where we met as well, saying, yeah, do you know what? I wish you could do this. I wish we could do this. But this is the same kind of love that we need. We need to have this similarity to the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. We need to continue to talk about the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. The best way our Sheikh Dr. Muhammad Tahir al-Qadri Sahib always says is that resend through the salam on the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, as much as you can. Talk about the family. And, you know, if you don't know about something, you do research about it. Muz loves cricketers, so he probably knows, you know, that day he knew that one of the cricketers was in London, for example, right? So, you know, this is how we need to build a relationship with the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him. You know, read, you know, listen to lectures, connect to the Prophet, peace be upon him. Imagine the Gumbad-e Khazra. And the thing is that, you know, for example, you know, you talk about cricketers, that's the dunyavi thing. But, you know, whenever you think about the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, it brings peace to your mind, it brings peace to your soul as well. And I know that a lot of people, especially in the holy month of Ramadan, we need this. We need to continue this, not only in this month, but, you know, inshallah, after the holy month of Ramadan as well, inshallah. So, with that in mind, let's start off with the Qasida Burda. You know, growing up, especially in Minhajul Quran, Qasida Burda was a very big thing. You know, we used to always read it as well. You know, even putting on TV as well. I remember, you know, Prime TV and, you know, all these little kids in the background reading Qasida Burda. And I do dua that whoever is listening in tonight, you know, Qasida Burda gives you shifa, and we do dua that inshallah, whoever is in any sort of trouble, whether it's physically, spiritually, mentally, with the blessing of this Qasida Burda, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and give you all shifa as well. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Bismillah.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين والفريقين من قرب ومن عجم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل حول من الأحوال مقتحم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا يا ربي بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم
Wow, gee, wow, mashallah. Talk about taking the memory, winding us back, bro.
Let's go back. Muz, let's go back. You know, you were talking about Sister Aaliyah that was on before. You know, you were saying, you know, she's really young. Let's go back, mine and your age. Let's go back when we were 20 years old.
This is it, bro. You just by doing that, because see the Burda, seriously, it literally reminded us back of those days, man. Mashallah.
100%.
That was nice. That was a good start, mashallah. Great start.
But Muz, listen, you're a presenter, I'm a presenter, and you know, I don't think you get asked a lot of questions, so I'm going to be asking you some questions now, mate, right? So I want to ask you, Muz, especially for all the listeners that are tuned in tonight, what kind of advice would you give? Because, you know, in the holy month of Ramadan, yeah, there's a lot of people, especially our sisters, even some of our brothers as well, that make that extra effort, you know, and I really applaud these brothers and sisters, right? You know, especially those that were, you know, that make the extra effort to wear a headscarf, those of our brothers that, you know, make that extra effort to go to the masjid, those that pray with Jamaat as well, you know. And the thing is, it can be a very daunting, a very difficult time living in this kind of era, you know, especially for our sisters. They'll be like, you know what, you're not wore the hijab for the rest of the year, how come you're wearing it now? You know, what kind of message have you got for our brothers and sisters where we can continue to show our support for these brothers and sisters that, you know, make that extra effort in the holy month?
100%. And plus, you know, while you was putting the question together, it came to my mind that, you know, a big shout out, obviously to every individual who's trying to take as much effort as they can to benefit from the month of Ramadan is one aspect.
100%.
But the brothers that are putting together, the ones that lead the Salatul Tarawih, you've got to give them a big shout out and say how, and a lot of the brothers are actually working professionals. They're carrying on their 9 to 5 day, they're fasting, and at the same time they are, you know, practicing, and they're, you know, reciting, and they're learning, and they're revising, and then in the evening they're delivering. You know, myself and you, we just said it, you know, yourself, that sometimes you're knackered and your thoughts are going elsewhere. Yeah, their focus is about reciting and, you know, presenting the Quran to all of us so that we can take that blessing from them. SubhanAllah, that in itself, you know, it's inspiration. But coming back to your point about, you know, how people are feeling, you know, maybe they're feeling a little, you know, their confidence is going down, or they're feeling a little bit shy or nervous, or, you know, they're not sure where they're going with this. What we can say is that in the month of Ramadan, it's 30 days, and 30 days you are here to try to take as much of it as you can, because before
100%.
Before you know it, today is what, the 19th of Ramadan. It's flown by. It's absolutely flown by.
100%.
All we can do is, within our lifestyle that we have, is just to benefit fully from it. You know, whether it's, you know, make sure you first of all get all your fasts in. You know, make sure we do keep all our fasts. We practice the sunnah, we do the suhoors, we do the iftars. You know, I see a lot of brothers and sisters where unfortunately they don't do suhoor. They just have a massive iftar meal, snack again at midnight, and they've knocked out until, you know, the working day, because they're like, oh, we need to get our sleep in. But that's fine. But at the same time, look, man, at the end of the day, you know, Zayn started off with the qasida, and you know, it's all about following that sunnah and following what our Prophet ﷺ used to do. Because at the end of the day, that is one way that we're going to increase our love. If we're going to go out our way to try to follow, you know, our Prophet ﷺ, we're going to make sure that we're going to take those blessings, we're going to fall in love, and we are going to reap the rewards of Ramadan as well. So, you know, for me, the most important thing is that get all your fasts in, establish your salah. That is, you know, that is probably the most important thing. That be confident to get your salahs in, try to go to the masjid and pray as well. You know, fully take benefit of this Ramadan, because as we've said, 19 days, I've never seen it go this quick. I'm absolutely shocked that how quick it has flown by, to the point that it's almost over and Eid preparations are starting. Because I know myself, because I promised so many people that I'll do iftar with them, and I just haven't done it. It's just literally coming here to do the shows. And the rest of the time I've been doing it with my blessed mother. But most of the time it's like, oh yeah, I'll do it next week with that brother. I'll do it next week, and before you know it, it's gone. It's gone. So,
but the thing is though, Muz, right? Is that the thing is that a lot of people, do you know, when you do something for 40 days, it becomes a habit.
Bilkul. Yes.
Charlie's didn't kill you. They always say there's always a significance with Charlie's. You do a chill out for 40 days, there's always something with 40 days. But when you do something continuously for 40 days, it becomes a habit. Now, the holy month of Ramadan, is, we've got the opportunity. On Eid, for example, Muz, right? When you wake up and we're having breakfast for Eid, we're thinking, hang on a minute, it's a bit wrong, isn't it? What are we doing? And, because you'll be praying, you'll be getting up for Sehri. You'll be getting up for Sehri every day for Fajr. So automatically you'll get up for Sehri then as well. But the thing is, though, is that I always feel the most important thing is a tika. In the holy month of Ramadan, there's automatically these blessings around us. There's this aura, there's this aroma. Your neighbors are constantly knocking on your door, dropping food off at Iftari. The mosques are full. It's a very, very amazing mahal. So I do dua that inshallah we need to continue to do this. And the most important thing is, I believe, is that, the things that you picked up in the holy month of Ramadan, carry on with them after as well. If you are praying your 5 times namaz, please continue it after. If you are praying the Holy Quran, continue it after. Try living in the month of Ramadan the whole year. And I know it's very difficult, but the thing is that spiritually it helps you. And I don't know about you, Muz, right? But just before Ramadan started, I needed Ramadan in me. You needed that ruhaniyat. You needed that spirituality. You needed that lifting.
Yeah. No, you said it.
And I hope.
Also, another sort of advice, because if you've noticed, one of the amazing things of our parents is that when it comes to the disciplines of getting their prayers in, getting their tahajjud in, getting their Quran in, they're reciting so much Quran, they're making so much effort, and it makes you think, oh yeah, should I be doing more? But I'll be listening to a lot more scholars and a lot more lectures online, and what you tend to hear is it's quality over quantity. And the quality that you need to get on right now, because if you solidify that quality, whether it's your salah, whether it's your fasting, Quran, charity, and so on, you solidify that quality now. Surely that quality then will be able to spread you nicely for the rest of the months, rather than cramming it all in now, getting knackered, and then post Ramadan, going through those Ramadan blues, and then struggling, and then not being able to do as much no more, and then thinking, oh, I'm in a hole now, I can't do much now, I'll forget it. Rather than doing that, get that quality in a good place, because then it'll help you spread for the rest of the 11 months. My God, man, we sound
but you've got to admit, do you know what you've mentioned, Ramadan blues? It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
People have holiday blues, but Ramadan blues is 100% definitely a thing. Whether it's, everyone's working, everyone's got their own stuff going on, but Iftari, everyone's together. It's that bringing people together. It's opening times together, praying together as well. So inshallah, it's a very blessed thing. And do you know what? We always mention this when me and Muz are doing charity work as well, is that, whenever you do any sort of ibadat in the holy month of Ramadan, not only do you get 1 sawab, not double, not triple, but you get 70 times. Right. It just goes to show that, we don't want this month to, slip by us.
No.
And it already is. It already is. We need to. I don't know about you, Muz, but I'm always thinking, you know what? I need to be doing something. I need to keep my mind occupied. Obviously, sometimes we're going to be like, you know what? I want to watch a bit of Netflix. I want to chill out a bit. Let's do this. Let's do that. But you know what, though, right? Always make that bit of effort. Get the speed in your hand, Yard, and just try to.
To that level, it's happened to me. Today's a prime example of what you just said. You just can't sit still at home, because I'm at home and I'm like, I need to do something. So I've turned up early now. I had a meeting around the corner from here, and then I turned up early to the masjid first. I thought, let me turn up. Now they were doing a kids assembly in the masjid downstairs, and it was amazing. And the organizers came up to me and they said to me, literally, Muzammil, are you sort of lost? Like, what are you doing? I was like, listen, I just want to come and embrace the masjid and also look at what you guys are doing. And they were like gobsmacked that one of the senior guys has turned up just to take advantage. And I thought, why not? I'm here early. Before I come to the show, let me just see what these blessed kids and children are doing. It was amazing. You had a couple of 100 kids who were reciting Quran, nasheeds, and speeches, and hosting it. And it it just set the tone for what we were trying to do today, man. So alhamdulillah.
Do you know what, Muz, right? Do you know what, Muz, right? This is a topic for another day, by the way, right? But this is a topic that me and you need to do, right? Sure. Topic is, right, do you know, we've had Easter this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas, Easter, whatever kind of holidays we have, right? And I've got so many people on my Snapchat, married with kids, they're there with Easter eggs and like, going out doing all these Easter runs or whatever they do, right? These are Muslim families, by the way, right? And I do not understand why they do not have the same emphasis and the same excitement building into their children for the holy month of Ramadan.
100%.
I'll get into the topic. Even Eid. This is something that really gets to me. Like, you know what? It's 2023, right? We're living in such an age. We're living in such a society now. Do you know what the other day was? In Asda, they've got pajamas that say Ramadan Mubarak. I love that idea. Tigo, you know what? We're living in the, children go to school, they socialize with other people, right? It's a good thing. But I feel that our Muslim parents need to be implementing this more into their children, building that excitement up for the children. You've got Advent Ramadan calendars.
Yes.
Why are Muslim? I don't know about where you are, but where I am up north, it's not that trending at the moment. And I just really wish that it needs to be more trending. It needs to be implemented. I know that a couple of years ago, I don't know if you saw it, but with the Christmas tree, they had a moon like a Christmas tree. It looked a bit bizarre, but obviously that's a whole totally different thing as well.
You had the Ramadan lights in central London. You must have seen
those.
It.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. See, we need, as Muslims, I feel that we need to implement this more into our children. We need to put that excitement of the holy month of Ramadan into our children so that they fast as well. I'll tell you something very interesting because I'm from Accrington, right? And this is the first year, Muz, that they've got, do you know the Ramadan calendars where it says the Iftar in Sahri time? They've got two Ramadan calendars, one for adults and one for children. And the children one's got a lot of cartoons on it. And it actually said that you can tick off if you kept a full fast or a half a fast. And I just thought, what an amazing idea, man. What an amazing idea.
I think people are starting to get into it and start to realize that it's an important part of us and it's got to appeal to the children as well. I think it's getting there, but there's a lot of strides to be made, but we're certainly heading in the right direction. And
slowly and steadily, yeah?
Slow and steady, slow and steady,
Slow and steady,
inshallah. We are almost getting there towards Iftar now. I think we're down to like almost 6 minutes to go. So, Zen, what are you gonna bless us with?
I'm just gonna read. Obviously, we're talking about connecting to the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, and inshallah. I'm just gonna read one. I'll just read one share of this naat. It's the one that I read on Friday as well. It's not an oldie one; it's a bit of a new one. So, inshallah, dedicated. And I want everyone that's listening into this tonight, close your eyes, and it's a dua that you get invited to the city of Medina. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. हुण सद लै मदीने सोहणिया इस दम दा वसा कोई ना हुण सद लै मदीने सोहणिया इस दम दा वसा कोई ना जिंद मुक्की मुक्की जांदी ए रेआ लबां उते सा कोई ना अखां छम छम वगदियां ने दिल डुब डुब जांदा ए अज हिजर तेरा सोहणिया मैनू वड वड खांदा ए तेरे कोल किवें आवां दिसे होण दी राह कोई ना तेरे कोल किवें आवां दिसे होण दी राह कोई ना हुण सद लै मदीने सोहणिया इस दम दा वसा कोई ना जिंद मुक्की मुक्की जांदी ए रेआ लबां उते सा कोई ना और आखिर में शेर सफरी ते मेरे आका हुण आखिरी वेला ए इंज लगदा उजड़ चलिया अज जिंदगी दा मेला ए बिन मिलिया सजण कोलों शाला होवे जुदा कोई ना बिन मिलिया सजण कोलों शाला होवे जुदा कोई ना And Muz, before we go, this one, I want to dedicate this one to you, yeah? Especially for you.
God. What I was going to ask you to do, but go on. You go. Far away.
Especially for you, Muz, yeah? ਲੈ ਹੋ ਯਾਰ ਹਵਾਲੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਮੇਲੇ 4 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੋ ਲੈ ਹੋ ਯਾਰ ਹਵਾਲੇ ਰੱਬ ਦੇ ਮੇਲੇ 4 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਈਦ ਮੁਬਾਰਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਜਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਫੇਰ ਮਿਲਾਂਗੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਅਜਾਨੀਆਂ ਵੇ जिस दिन फेर मिलांगे.
Wow. Zan, what a ledge, bro. Mashallah. Zan, if I could ask you, if it's possible, just for the listeners out there as well, obviously the nasheed that you did just before this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you just close your eyes, the tone it's read, the way it's structured, it's quite powerful. If I said to you, pick a sentence from it, because obviously time is so short, that you can translate to the listeners out there. Is there a possibility of doing that? I don't know, because it's such a beautiful nasheed.
Just the chorus. Let's just go on to the chorus, right? It's saying to the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, invite me to your city of Medina. It's a dam dawasako, your dam is your heartbeat. And it's saying, I don't know what's going to happen with my heartbeat. Only in our communities where we're living, so many people are just all of a sudden, of a click of a finger, they've had heart failures, heart attacks, right? But this is obviously talking about that. Jind muki jandi. Our lives are slowly, finishing. I've got no breath left as well. Just call me to the city of Medina. It's absolutely amazing. It is time. How long is for Iftari now, Muz?
It's literally a minute to go. So a final message from you, Zain, and then we're going to go.
Final message. I'm just going to do a quick dua that Ya Allah, every single person that is listening in tonight, Ya Allah, bless them with, always shower your blessings upon them always, Ya Allah. The Prophet, instill the love of the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, into their hearts, to get rid of all the parishanias, whether they're physically, spiritually, mentally, keep them away from Nazir Bad, connect them with the beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, and this ruhaniyat, this spirituality, this atmosphere of the holy month of Ramadan, may it continue for them always. And Ya Allah, whoever is listening into the program tonight, you know what's in their hearts, you know what's in their minds, accept their du'as, accept their wishes, Ya Allah. It is, the second Ashra is finishing. Special du'as for all those people that are sitting at the Itikaf tonight as well. Those people suffering all over the world, Ya Allah, with the blessing of this holy month of Ramadan, get rid of the worries, get rid of the parishania, get rid of the troubles as well. Ya Allah, everyone that's part of Revive, bless them, bless their families, make them successful in Deen and Dunya as well. Special du'as for our Shaykh, Dr. Muhammad Tahir Qadri, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them a long and healthy life as well. And Ya Allah, finally, we ask you special du'as, Ya Allah, to all those people that are tuned in tonight. Ya Allah, you know what's in their minds, you know what's in their hearts. Ya Allah, accept their du'as, accept their wishes. The children that are listening in tonight, Ya Allah, make them successful in Deen and Dunya, and shower your blessings upon them always. Wal Habibul Lazi turja shafatahu likulli hawli min al-ahwal muqtahimi subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Special du'as for Muz, especially Muz's mum as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give auntie so much happiness always, Ya Allah. Wal Habibul Lazi turja shafatahu likulli hawli min al-ahwal muqtahimi subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. I'm sorry if I've taken a lot more of your time. Have a blessed Iftari, Muz, and I'll see you soon, inshallah.
Okay, Zain, thank you for your time as well. Everyone, have a blessed Iftar. This is Muzammil out. See you every day. There's Iftar show, so make sure you stay tuned for those as well. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
This Iftari is sponsored by the Wahbeh restaurant in Gants Hill, Ilford, and Plashet Carpets in Upton Park.
اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ومولانا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إني لك صمت وبك آمنت وعليك توكلت وعلى رزقك أفطرت. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله في الأولين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه في الآخرين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت سيدنا ومولانا محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد.
This iftari is sponsored by the Wahbeh restaurant in Gants Hill, Ilford and Plashett Carpets in Upton Park.